There are two kinds of people in this world. Either you're doing things you know you shouldn't, or you're not doing things you know you should. Guess what? We're both. Hi, I'm Marcy Barker, life and business coach, aka your loving kick in the pants. This podcast is here to help you become accountable with aligned action and become boss-minded while growing a business without sacrificing what matters most. Let's dive in. Hello, my beautiful people. Here we are yet again for another week of your loving kick in the pants on our new video podcast. And if you guys are watching, you're probably like, Marcy, wow, you look really good without makeup. I would agree. And this need to make a podcast, I was like, I don't want to give myself the pressure that I have to be ready all of the time. Like this morning, I played 3 hours of tennis. It was so fun. I loved it. I went to a tennis clinic and then one of the ladies was like, who wants to stay after and play? And I was like, me. Because I love playing tennis. I'm new to it. I started playing maybe like December and I wish I could play all day long. It's been really fun to get to know a new skill and to practice it. And I'm on the C team. And if you guys know tennis, C team is like the worst. Not the worst. I will take that back. It is the beginner level. And I've really enjoyed all of the friends that I've gotten to know, except for they're like 30 years older than me, minimum. And that's good, but I want to get better. And I'm considering joining a business group which takes the place of the tennis clinic. So I'm like, I have to move up. And the clinic today, the coach was like, you want to get on a B team, you got to be aggressive. And I was like, this guy does not know who I am. I'm the most aggressive person. But I have realized that I kind of hold back because I'm not sure of my skills yet. I can hit the ball hard, but who knows where it's going to go. So that's something that I'm working on. But I played tennis all day and I have not showered yet. And I'm okay with that. I'm totally okay with that. So as I've been working and getting stuff done, I'm like, I look fine. I did all of my laundry. That was my reason for not showering, because I did all of my laundry and I didn't have the clothes that I wanted to wear. So I was like, I can wait till the laundry's done. But as I was thinking about making a podcast when I'm not ready, no makeup on, no hair done, this is actually a really important thing to talk about in business and presenting yourself on social media, because I know there is a big pressure to look a certain way. And in my book, Becoming Boss-Minded, there is a whole chapter on branding, and this story is about balancing authenticity and professionalism. And I share this story about Aubrey and I. Aubrey has different expectations about what I should be putting on social media than what I have been doing for the last 10 years. Isn't that crazy? He thinks I should look a little different, that I should always be presentable. And I totally agree with the reasons why, but I always have to take a step back and say, what's going to help me move forward and what's going to become a roadblock for me. And if I had to go and get ready and shower and get my hair done, my makeup done, guess what? I would not have made a podcast tonight. And my reason for making a podcast is I want to make sure that I'm consistent. I want to make sure that I have my podcast done and ready to go, because I don't want you guys to wait or miss an episode. And I love that about me, that I've been consistent for you guys, because this podcast has been beneficial for people. So I want to talk to you today as a little pep talk, but also I want to just let you know that you are okay if you're not all the way done up all the time, or you're still trying to figure out your brand and your presentation. Because in my own brand, like maybe this is the very first time you're seeing me, and I want you to know that I'm okay that you're seeing me this way, because this is who I am. I'm going to show up as best as I can with what I've got going on, and I still think that I look amazing without any makeup and my hair not done and curled, and this is just who I am. So in the story about balancing authenticity and professionalism, this is under the first step of the boss-minded framework, which is desiring more. And desiring more means you've got to want more for yourself, and you've got to really be clear about what you're trying to create, so much so that it pulls you forward. So when I was getting used to social media, I don't know if this is the story, but there was a time when I made my very first YouTube video. I told Aubrey to get out of the house and take all the kids because I had to practice talking to the camera. And that was so weird. It was so weird. And I know that a lot of people feel the same way too, because I've challenged a lot of new clients to like start taking selfies and to start posting videos and to start getting out there, because nobody can buy from you if they don't know who you are. That's what Uncle G says, Grant Cardone. And there is always this balance of like, yes, I want to show up and I want to be professional, and I also want to look good, but I also want to be myself. I don't want to fit the mold of something or try to do something, because like we talked about a couple weeks ago about imposter syndrome, I think that when we come into these beliefs of I have to be a certain way, that's where a lot of doubts can creep in. And I want you to know that you're good enough exactly as you are. And today on the group call, so I'm doing group coaching. And on the group call, we were talking about the importance of showing up on social media and being able to really just be authentic. Because if you guys look in social media, there are tons and tons of people that have millions of followers, and they don't all look the same. They look completely different. Their content is different. Some people are really done up and some people are not at all. Like not at all. And they are still being successful with a social media following. And that's because they are also practicing authenticity, and in their own business, they're probably practicing some level of professionalism as well. So I want you guys to know there's different things that you can do in your business that are going to help you make that balance, but it's also going to help you desire more for yourself, because you've got to be able to recognize what's for you and what's for other people. Okay, like that's a really, really big difference. So if I was creating this podcast because you all loved the way I looked, it's like, that's something I know I can't keep up with, so I'm not trying to do that. But if I'm getting on here and creating a podcast because I know that you benefit from my words and my communication to you, that's exactly why I'm doing it. So, but me doing a podcast with a video, that's like me trying to be more professional. So there's a lot of different aspects to it. So in this story, I'm going to just talk about the different things that I talk about, and I want you to think about how this can translate to you in your own business while it comes to building a brand, because your brand is you. Whether or not it's a personal brand, like your brand is run by you being the backbone and you putting in your beliefs and your goals for the impact that you want to have. So the first thing I want to talk about is automating with a personal touch. So this is a really good example. A couple of days ago, I did a book writing workshop, and on social media, I got 20 people registered for it, but then I sent out an email and I sent out a text to my list, and the registrations doubled. And every time I send out a text, I always get responses, and I probably had like 86 responses to go through. And of course, there's people who are like, yes, I want the information. There's people who are like, stop, opt out, which is a good thing. And there's also people who are like, who is this? And so I always tell people, this is the Boss Minded texting app. You'll get automated messages, but I will respond here personally when needed. So when it comes to authenticity and professionalism, like I don't want to pretend that all of my automated stuff is me. Like I want to be really transparent about what's automated and what's coming personally from me. So even if you automate stuff, which you absolutely should be, it still needs to have a personal touch. It still needs to be coming from you and have the vibe of your brand. So just keep in mind, like if you're going to hire out or outsource sort of these things, make sure that your team knows how you communicate. And this can be as simple as just somebody writing your emails and you looking over them and making sure that it's your tone of voice and it's something that you would actually say. And this is something that has been really beneficial to me in getting help with my books, having an editor. Also the use of ChatGPT. You guys know that as you are using that platform to get content out much faster, you know that you've got to personalize it with your own touch. So that's one thing that's really going to help you find the balance between authenticity and professionalism, is make sure that your automations have your personal touch and your intention behind them. The next thing is congruence between content and nurturing. So this is a really good point, because your content, even if it's automated, it shouldn't just be pushing at people, buy this, buy this, buy this, buy this, have a sale. Your content needs to be nurturing people to move down the ladder with you in your business, but that is getting people from point A to point B. Hey, my beautiful people. If you're loving these episodes, you'll want the full experience. I've bundled both of my books, The Accountability Code and Becoming Boss Minded, into one powerful package. You'll get instant access to the audiobooks and ebooks so you can learn and grow anytime, anywhere. Head to bossminded.com and grab the book bundle now. It's the perfect way to stay inspired between episodes. All right, let's dive back in. So you guys, you probably have experienced, maybe when you started in business, you were brand new, you just posted sales and you posted deals, especially if you had a product-based business. It's like, this is the only product, I'm going to make sure that people can buy it. But you want to make sure that in your content, you are nurturing people to move forward with you, because that's what people attach to. They're attaching to you and how you can get them results. Nobody's like in love with automated emails. Like, people don't click on your email just because you sent it. They're clicking on it because there's a piece of you in there that they can connect to. So make sure that there is congruence between who you are as your brand and how you can help your ideal client. And this is also like responding to your own messages. I know that depending on the level of business that you're at, some people will outsource all of their email responses or all of their social media responses. Even there was a time where I had an assistant who was in my messenger inbox and she would respond, because a couple of years ago, actually, I told her I was to the point where I was so tired of social media, and not that it wasn't working for me, but I felt like I could not escape. I felt like I could not run my business without me being present on social media. So I hired an assistant with the intention of not touching social media for over a month. And luckily I went like 5 weeks, and I learned a lot about that. But there were quite a few people where she would message me and she's like, what do you want to say to this person? And I was like, actually, that person should have access to my cell phone, so you can give them my phone number. So I, again, wanted to make it transparent. And here's a side story too, because during that time where I was not on social media, everybody thought I was on social media, and I created a lot of content that could be used for my assistant to post. And one time, my neighbors came over, they knocked on my door and they said, hey, we got your mail by accident and we'll give it to you, but we want some of those peanut butter fingers that you just made. And I was like, what are they talking about, peanut butter fingers? And they said, we saw that you just posted on your Facebook that you have peanut butter fingers. And I was like, oh, I said, that is my recipe. Those are my peanut butter fingers. I have made those. I did write that post, but I did not post that. I created that content for my assistant to post for me. And in that moment, I was like, oh, maybe I'm kind of being inauthentic because I'm making somebody believe something that's not true at this moment in time. And I actually did not feel good about that. Like, I took this conversation to therapy and I was like, am I presenting a picture that's not real if people think I'm there all the time? And I actually did end up discontinuing with that assistant, because I was like, I think I do need to be real on social media. I think I do need to paint something that's exact. And this was a couple years ago. So my opinion has shifted a little bit because of the way things are moving. Like, for example, you guys might see a video pop up on your Facebook that's like 20 weeks old, but it's still recirculating because it was really popular. So I think there is the business side of making sure content gets put out there, but there's also the consumer side of not believing everything that you see. Or when it comes to hiring somebody, like, you really have to ask all the questions so that you're getting something that really matters to you. So this is congruence between content and nurturing. It's like, make sure that you are present still, that you're not just having all these bots run your stuff, unless that's part of your business strategy. But if you are building a brand and you're trying to find that balance between authenticity and professionalism, that's one of the tips. The next one is set boundaries and accessibility. And this one is really, really important because a lot of new business owners, or even seasoned business owners, they get really burned out because they feel like they have to be available all the time. Just like I told you, I felt like I was tied into social media, that I couldn't go take a break, or that I always had to be available. But if you think about it, like, businesses, lots of businesses are open from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and then they're closed, and then they're just unavailable. And me being in a different time zone than a big chunk of my clients at one time, this really helped me, because I told myself, even though it's 5 p.m. for them, it's 7 p.m. for me here, and it's dinner time, so I don't have to be available. But you have to communicate your boundaries with your people so that they know that. And when it comes to authenticity, you have to be able to put yourself first and say, here's what I need in order to succeed. But being professional is communicating it and making sure that you're providing ways for people to stay in touch or to get the answers that they need when you're not around. So another example of this is the Boss Minded help desk. So if people have a question about the rules in the Facebook group or where to post something specific, I can just have any of my Facebook moderators send them the help desk, and it's there, and I wrote it and it's available. So you got to set boundaries and make sure you're accessible on your terms, but communicate those to your audience. The next thing is to be transparent about automation. So we talked about this before too, about not pretending that everything is live when it's not. And for example, I'm going to totally shout this company out. I don't know. It's a mud run. I signed up for a mud run, and I was talking with my friends, and we wanted to do more girl stuff, do stuff together. And I get an ad for this mud run, and I look into it and I'm like, oh, they're on sale right now because it's early bird. This is still a couple of months away. So I bought tickets, and then I find out the prices never go up. And you would think that I would know that as somebody with as much marketing experience as I have and with automation and websites. But I still was like, I don't use those tactics on my website. I don't tell people that there's only 75 spots. And then later I tell them there's 53 spots. And then 2 hours later, there's 2 spots, when really all of those things are automated and there's nothing live going on. And I don't like that. I don't like that at all. So I don't do that with my clients. I really try to hold the deadlines of like, no, this was the deal and now it's over and sorry. And I don't like to pretend that I have all these big sales running when they're evergreen. So that is like, take it or leave it as part of your strategy, whatever you want to do. But that just put a really bad taste in my mouth because it was a straight up lie. So when you're balancing authenticity and professionalism, like, you have to determine if your strategy is in line with who you are and how you want to present yourself. And maybe people of the mud run, they're like, we don't know this girl. We don't care. Like, who knows? I have at times been like, I'm going to respond to their email and be like, you're lying because you guys told me the price was going to go up and I bought tickets and you're still selling tickets a week before the event and they're the same price. And I don't like that. But it's like, am I going to spend my time doing that? No, I'm just going to talk about it on my podcast instead. So keep that in mind. Be transparent about your automation, but make sure automation is congruent with who you are and what you want to put out there. So the last thing I want to talk about, the last point in this story, is to leverage your strengths and delegate the rest. So this is a really good example, this video podcast. I've talked about this multiple times on here. I love doing this podcast, but guess what? I don't produce it, because I don't love that. I don't like sitting down editing. And Jezza, my podcast assistant producer, she's amazing. All I do is I put the videos in the drive and she takes care of it. And that allows me to be authentic here with you, no makeup, hair not done, but still be professional because I'm outsourcing that to somebody who can get it done and can be consistent and have this podcast out for you every single Wednesday. So when it comes to balancing that, like, ask yourself, what are the parts about your business that you really love? And what are the parts about your business that you're really not good at and you don't enjoy? Because you can still be professional and have that be taken care of by somebody else. And I actually was on a sales call with somebody a couple days ago, and she was really upfront about, if I have to do my own tech, I'm not gonna do it. I don't want to do it, and I'm gonna waste so much time and money if I put that on myself. And so when she was looking at my packages, she's like, I need the most valuable package that comes with all the tech help and all the automation, because she knows she's not gonna be professional if she's in charge of the tech. She wants to be the one who is creating the content for her clients and selling and acquiring clients and making sure that everything is professional in the back end, done by somebody else. So this is actually a really, really important thing when it comes to growing business, because if you try to be professional with all the things, this is where you get burnt out. And I would say that's when you begin to doubt yourself. That's when you make costly mistakes. And that's when you lose your excitement for your business. So find the authenticity in what you like to do And when you're leveling up in your professional business brand, hire out the things that you can't do. You know, branding is really, really important. And that's why I did not create my own branding. Like, I'm not a designer. I don't know color psychology. I don't know any of that stuff. But because I hired it out, it looks really, really good, and it looks really, really professional. So one thing that I have in here is throughout the whole book, Becoming Boss Minded. If you guys don't have this yet, go grab it on Amazon simply for the bonus section. Okay. So in this story, I do link to, I link to this podcast. I tell everybody they should tune into this podcast. But in the bonus section, there are so many other resources. I think I have like 15 different resources in the bonus section where you can take advantage of. But at the end of the day, building a brand is something that is ongoing. It never ever stops, because every interaction that somebody has with you, they have a perception of you and your business based on how they feel, based on what they experienced with you. So building a brand is not just about looking pretty and looking perfect and professional, but it's really making sure that you're putting your best foot forward and being 100% okay with what you're putting out there, knowing that you're doing your best and you're progressing and you're enlisting help along the way. So I want to leave this with you. You are enough. And if you feel imperfect or not good enough, just keep showing up, because that is the way that your brand is going to be built. And that is the way that you're going to attract the very best customers, clients, followers, audience, all of that. They're going to be attracted to you being you, and nothing can replace that. So if I could give you a loving kick in the pants, I want you to believe in yourself that you're good enough right now, and that it's a really smart decision to outsource the things that you need to be a little bit more professional at, but you just don't love. So everybody have a fantastic week. If you don't have the book yet, go and grab it. This was on page 35 in the branding section. And I want to let you know that I appreciate you. And I'm so glad that you tuned in. And I look good without any makeup. So if you guys haven't watched the video podcast yet, tune in just for that reason. But we'll see you next week for another episode of Your Loving Kick in the Pants. Thanks for tuning in, friend. If this episode gave you value, don't just keep it to yourself. Share it with someone in your circle who's ready to wake up, show up, and grow their business without sacrificing what matters most. When you do, you're not just helping them, you're building your network of like-minded leaders. And I'll say this plainly, leaving a kind review matters more than you know. It helps more people find the show, and it keeps the momentum going. So pause for a moment and please drop that review. Lastly, if there's a topic you want me to cover, I want to hear from you. Reach out, because this podcast is for you and I'm here to serve. Until next time, stay boss-minded.